I want to go ahead and introduce our next speaker. She is from Project Weber and Renew, and her name is Tatiana Jones. Could you all give her a warm welcome, please?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Tatiana Jones, and I'm the trans peer outreach worker at Project Weber, Renew. My work revolves around connecting high-risk men and women, those involved in sex work, and those at high risk for HIV, or those who are HIV positive, to services, support, and advocacy. Thank you to the organizers for the March for Racial Justice for inviting me to speak on behalf of trans women of color. I also want to thank my mentor, Jay Watts from Thunder Mist, for his amazing advocacy on behalf of trans people over the years. When the events happened in Charlottesville, my niece, who was 11 years old, came home from her very first day at a new charter school. She used to be only one of 2 kids of color at her old school, but now she's at a school filled with black and brown kids. And she asked me, "Auntie, do my white friends think of me the way that the white people are acting on the video?" And I told her, every day you wake up, God is going to challenge you with a lesson or a blessing. Every person you meet, you're supposed to meet them, and you're either going to learn something, good or bad. When she said it to me, I was in the middle of outreach in a high-risk area, and I was so overwhelmed with her ability to see the reality of the world that we live in, and us as adults couldn't even grasp it. Like when 11-year-olds are asking us questions that we can't answer, something is wrong. She almost turned me into the niece. I remember the day that I told my niece that I was transgender. It was right after I spoke at the Trans Day of Remembrance. And her response was, "Auntie, you mean to tell me that people want to kill you or hurt you because you would like to be a girl?" And she says she doesn't think that is fair at all. And she said you're like endangered species. The 11-year-old said to me, "You're like an endangered species. Like one day, none of you are going to be here?" As an HIV-positive Black trans woman, I have dealt with racism all my life, even within the LGBTQ community. There is racism, and I've experienced it. For myself as a person in recovery and as a person who has experienced marginalization, sexualization, and oppression, I want to be there to speak for trans women, for women of color who presently don't have the ability to speak out. Are we going to cast people aside because they live below the poverty level? Will we write them off? Are we going to abandon our brothers and sisters of color because the fight is not easy? We know there is a problem when 1 in 6 Black men are currently on probation in the state of Rhode Island. Black MSMs have a 1 in 2 lifetime chance of contracting HIV, and 30% of new HIV cases in the US are Black MSMs. So I'm asking that you realize that we are living in a world that is changing, and it's not changing for the better. Look at the natural disasters taking place from one coast to another. Are we really here protesting because of discrimination against people for the color of their skin and the texture of their hair after decades of fighting? We should all be here fighting together to create a better world for our children and our grandchildren. We are caught up in the color of our skin instead of working to make sure everyone has a job, a safe place to live, and a healthy body. Some of the simple things that we take for granted, people don't have access to because of the color of their skin or their LGBTQ status, their lack of education or their background. So let's work together to create the world we all deserve. I'm asking each and every one of you because alone I can't, and together we can. Thank you.